Perform our duty, equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all the attachment to success or failure.
Bhagavad Gita 2:48. As one might guess, this is indeed a commandment from God to his subject in Hindu mythological scripture, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Prince Arjuna, who is fighting a war with his relatives in the 5th century BCE to reclaim the rightful throne. Arjuna, as a matter of fact, faces a moral and spiritual dilemma of continuing the war or avoiding it to prevent the loss of lives and property from such a war. It is at this instant that Lord Krishna becomes his charioteer and guides him throughout the journey while relieving him of the dilemmas simultaneously. This guidance encompasses the dilemma of duty and righteousness, dharma, relief from the thought of success or failure, and fighting for righteousness and justice. Throughout the journey, Lord Krishna teaches the prince the principles of meditation, the oneness of all creatures, and the immortality of the soul, Atman. This spiritual teaching is complemented by Krishna's guidance of urging the prince to surrender to divine forces. Bhagavad Gita might be a dialogue between God and a prince in a distant past, but it illuminates its significance in contemporary times as well. The relevance of this dialogue is equally relevant to the political, social, and spiritual lives of people all around the present world. It can be said that the Bhagavad Gita has some secrets that are not told beyond the conversational aspect of the scripture. Before delving into detail about the untold secrets from the Bhagavad Gita, it is important to have a little background to the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Prince Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita is a part of the narration of Mahabharata. It specifically covers the time when Prince Arjuna of Pandavas, the rightful heir to the throne, went to war with his cousins Kauravas, who had unrightfully claimed the throne. The Kurukshetra war, as it is known, proved to be a dilemma for Prince Arjuna. In this period, Lord Krishna came as a spiritual guide for the prince and relieved him of this dilemma. While doing so, Lord Krishna revealed some secrets to life that are untold in most parts of the contemporary world.
Disclaimer: this video is not intended to preach any religious beliefs. It examines the Bhagavad Gita as the most famous and ancient poem of Hinduism, to understand why it has had a tremendous influence on people around the world to this day.
So, what were these dilemmas to begin with? Prince Arjuna faced 3 main dilemmas in the Kurukshetra war. First, he was morally torn while thinking about his duty as a warrior and the violence such a war would cause. Second, he was emotionally disturbed about finding his relatives on the opposite side of the battlefield. Third, Arjuna was spiritually lost as he struggled with the meaning of life. These dilemmas are conveyed in the Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna tells Lord Krishna,
"O Krishna, seeing my own kinsmen standing arrayed, eager to fight, my limbs fail me, and mouth is parched, my body trembles, and my hair stands on end. I do not see any good in killing my kinsmen in battle."
These dilemmas are not any different to any man in the present world. This is the reason why the untold secrets of the Bhagavad Gita must be explored, because of the wisdom and guidance they contain. Through the conversation between Lord Krishna and the guidance-seeking prince, valuable lessons and secrets can be learned. So, what did Lord Krishna actually teach Arjuna? This question demands an answer, as this is the prime reason that Arjuna achieved spiritual fulfillment and was relieved of all the dilemmas that he had fostered. The first learning that Arjuna got was the choice between duty and dharma, righteousness. As Arjuna was faced with the choice that either performing his duty as a warrior or avoiding the violence that would occur due to his actions. This was a valid concern of Arjuna, as performing the duty he might have become the cause of shedding blood. To relieve him of this dilemma, Krishna told him,
Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction.
Verse 247. This lesson put Arjuna on a clear pathway to achieve success through action and not considering the collateral damage on the way. This is indeed an untold secret from the Bhagavad Gita, which reinforces the importance of action in life. Another dilemma that Arjuna faced was the thought of the outcome of the war. He wondered, what if he failed in the war? This thought woke him up at night. Lord Krishna relieved him of this struggle by teaching him the principle of renunciation. Renunciation or abandonment, Lord Krishna professed to Arjuna, is not about abandoning action, but it is about renouncing the attached fruits with any action. By this, he meant that the prince should abandon the thoughts of success or failure and just act. In the words of Krishna,
"You have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your action."
This lesson of not attaching the fruit of your action is indeed an untold secret well equipped for the modern world to follow as well. Similarly, Arjuna learned from his spiritual guide the value of selfless service without any motive. The prince came to know that the war he was embroiled in was a righteous war, as he was the rightful heir to the throne. His relatives, who were the usurpers, needed to be subdued. It was the war between the right and the wrong. So, indulging in violence for the right cause is not wrong, but rather preferred. The just war is not about any motives other than righteousness and justice. Krishna proclaimed,
"Therefore, without being attached to fruits, motives, one should act."
Verse 3-19. The fight for justice is the key secret of Bhagavad Gita's wisdom. This is another untold secret. So, is it that Krishna only taught Arjuna the military lessons? The answer is no. Arguably, the most important secret of Bhagavad Gita is the wisdom that Krishna imparted to the prince in the social dimension. He imparted the value of equality of all to Arjuna by professing the eternal connection between creatures and their convergence to the divine essence. He urged the prince not to discriminate between a friend and an enemy and treat them alike, saying,
"The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater."
It is by this wisdom that the social life can be remedied. It is that untold secret using which social equality in the world can be achieved. Another aspect of the Bhagavad Gita is its emphasis on the mind as a powerful tool to achieve the unachievable. The concept of yoga or meditation was taught to Arjuna by Lord Krishna. This involves the use of the mind to seek peace within the body and soul. Gita introduces 3 different paths of yoga. The first involves the practice of right deeds, or selfless action for self-realization. This is called karma yoga. The second is called bhakti yoga, the meditation that involves complete devotion to God. This fosters self-discipline in people. The third path of yoga is the jnana yoga, or the yoga of knowledge as it is called. This involves meditation to seek the knowledge that God has imparted to people. This path leads people to self-identification and to finding the purpose of life, which Arjuna struggled to understand while going into war. Arjuna learned about the importance of the mind when Krishna told him,
"One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well."
The power of mind is a secret from the Bhagavad Gita that needs to be frequented in everyday life problems of all people of all generations. If the secular aspects of Bhagavad Gita are discussed, how can the spirituality of the scripture be ignored? As Arjuna faced multiple dilemmas, there were some that had secular solutions and some that did not have any such solution. For such dilemmas and problems, Lord Krishna urged the prince to leave them to the divine spirit. He asked Arjuna to surrender to the divine and let go of any individual desire that he may have had. He was urged to surrender to the higher wisdom and guidance of the divine in these words.
Abandon all the varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I shall deliver from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Bhagavad Gita has a lesson for all the world to keep the divine spirit with them, because there are a multitude of problems in the world to which there are no secular solutions. Therefore, there should not be any doubt as to this scripture not holding any secret for the contemporary world. After discussing the untold secrets from Bhagavad Gita, a question arises: does Bhagavad Gita have any relevance to the modern world? The short answer is yes. For the long one, let us analyze the modern world. It is replete with dilemmas for the leaders to make the hard choices of action against the collateral damage of such actions. Niccolò Machiavelli, a 15th century political scientist, in his book The Prince, reached the same conclusion of preferring action for noble causes against inaction to avoid violence. This emphasis on action against inaction is congruous with the concept of duty and dharma, righteousness, of the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, inequality in the present world has become a menace. It is a pandemic that has affected every corner of the world. Perhaps, the lessons of equality and oneness of all from Bhagavad Gita should be rejuvenated to relieve the suffering caused by inequality. One cannot ignore the importance of spirituality in the modern world. Since the European Renaissance, religion has lost influence in people's lives. It, which had been the solace to every human's life, was replaced by the positivist school of thought. This school emphasized the scientific method over spirituality for understanding worldly phenomena. As sophisticated as this might become, it is only the spirituality that saves people in adverse times. So, Bhagavad Gita's wisdom is timeless in the sense that surrendering to God is emphasized for all problems that cannot be resolved through science. Its guidance to use the power of the mind is what has brought so much progress to the world. It is indeed the secrets from Bhagavad Gita that are helping its followers around the world. Capping the discussion of the Bhagavad Gita and the secrets it holds is not possible in such a short video, but here we are discussing the essence of these secrets. These secrets range from political guidance for leaders to social patronage for their followers. The spiritual guidance that a man needs is plenty in Bhagavad Gita. It is this essence that it continues to attract followers not only from particular regions, but throughout the world. We all have heard Oppenheimer's famous remark after he had successfully made the atomic bomb:
"I am become death, the destroyer of the world."
This is actually inspired by the Bhagavad Gita when Lord Krishna said,
I am time, the destroyer of the world, and I have come here to destroy all people.
Deepen your adventure by watching our playlists. And if you want more, just play the next episode that comes up as a suggestion on the left.